Yay, we're live. So today, having a little bit of fun in the shop, trying not to pull the cord. Oh, got my headphones on. And going to be doing a bit of fun here. So yeah, just kind of laying it easy and relaxing a bit today. I got to do a good bit of chamfering and finishing on the, oops, put that in focus, there we go, on the legs for the desk. And so I thought I'd let you guys along. And if you have anything you want to talk about or do, let me know. But yeah, we're just going to be kind of playing around. What do I want to do? So first things first, chamfering. And you'll hear the kids in the background because, well, they're home. Oop, don't want to chamfer the bottom of the foot, just the top. Leg direction, yeah, I think that's about right. Let's see what direction we're going. You might recognize this plane. That's my Veritas custom plane. But I made these fences for it back onto the table. Come on, give me all the way. Actually, I gotta do these first. Let me see, are the people in here? Wow. I wasn't sure if anyone would actually want to be a part of this. So I guess I gotta read comments. My wife said she might come up in a little bit. I usually just turn on the music and go have fun. Oh, sorry, that's probably hiding what's going on in the shop. Out in your shop too. Pizza peel, ooh, that sounds like fun. I've thought about making one of those a few times, just never gotten to it. If anyone has anything they want to see, let me know. I'll try and keep up with it. How big an opening should a smoothing plane have? That depends on how much of a smoothing you really want to do. If you're setting it up for the most fine smoothing you can possibly do, usually the rule of thumb is you want the opening to be twice the size of the shaving you want. So if you want a shaving that's 1/1000th of an inch, the opening should be 2/1000th of an inch. But that's just a rule of thumb. Chamfer off these little bits on the ends. Just like that. Yeah, everyone's pretty well in our house. We're kind of waiting for the storm to hit, with Sarah as a nurse. Waiting for the day her hospital goes on lockdown. Hopefully no time soon. But thankfully, she's off today. She has been working like 11 and 12-hour days. 5 days a week, getting everything ready. So we'll see what the future holds. Let's see, shop. Custom dining table. Ooh, that sounds like fun. You have a metal one. Be silly for woodworking. Yeah. I've never actually used a wooden pizza peel. I've used metal ones, but I've never used a wooden one. That'd be a fun one to make, just making it thin enough that it would actually work. Yeah. So I'm breaking the edge on the bottom of these feet, because this will be the bottom or the top of the bed of the desk frame. And so I just want to break that edge, give it a little bit of a light chamfer, and then the top edges all get a very heavy chamfer. Let's do these first. Oh, no, I gotta do that first. So, yay! So I'm hoping to get all of it chamfered today, and then I can glue up the legs. As I shot the footage of that yesterday when Luke was, Wednesday when Luke was here. So that, let's do these. Nurses, yeah, they're going through the ringer right now at the hospital. Wooden shovel. That would be an interesting build. You'll probably hear the kids in the background. They're all happy about this school thing. We were originally thinking about starting homeschooling next year, and so we were planning on going to a homeschooling conference to find out more. And then all this hit, so I guess we're starting homeschooling early now. Out grocery shopping. Yeah, good luck. Actually, our grocery stores have been pretty well stocked. It's not a problem. Other than toilet paper, of course. Thankfully, like 3 weeks ago, I bought another pack of toilet paper, so we're good for another 3-4 months. Here we go. Here, I'll give you a close-up of what I'm doing on these. Let's focus in on my hand. Focus, focus, focus. There we go. So you can see the chamfer on this. And then I'm breaking the edge on the bottom. So I'm going to go through and chamfer them all. And then I'm going to come in with a card scraper and smooth them all down and get the detail on there. So I'll set the focus back over there. There's 2 feet. Now we got to do the main vertical. Hey, Clean Cut Woodworking, how's it going? Cody, good to see you in here. Oh. Yeah, I usually shop at Aldi. I've been going to Aldi for like, what, 16, 17 years. Let's do this side. Love the sound of a good sharp iron just zipping down the wood. There we go. Switch to the other side. Oh, now there's that Aldi just the other day, and they had several pallets of water still there, by the jug or by the bottle. But we never buy bottled water, just drink it out of the tap. Man, I love a good chamfer. This makes everything happy. Ooh, yeah, that's what I'm liking. Yes, in my Veritas there's PMV 11. I like PMV 11. Although the chisel test that I did, and for those of you who are patrons, The chisel test information is available, and if you're a member here on Facebook, I posted a link to that, and YouTube, I posted a link to that. And so one of the chisels I tested was the Veritas PMV11, and it did rather well. Nothing crazily impressive. Mike, I have a plane question. Hey, JJ.
Hi.
I have a Sergeant Hercules number 4 equivalent with a big chunk out of the front of the mouth. No, it's not worthless. It's the only problem you're going to have with it is anytime you're doing something easy tear out, where that big chunk is, you can get tear out. So for most wood, if you're working with the grain, no problem at all. It just wouldn't work as a smoother. It's the question. Is it worthless as a smoothing plane? Pretty much. It wouldn't be a good smoothing plane after that. Yeah, you need a good closed mouth. I mean, unless you're just smoothing with the grain. If you're just smoothing with the grain, then yeah, you can turn it into a smoother. But if you're doing anything that's detailed or any undulating grain or having to go the other direction, it's not going to do very well. Would make a very good scrub plane, or make it just a general purpose plane. I have a couple planes that just have a large setting on them because sometimes I just want to hog off material a bit quicker. And when I mean a large setting, I mean like, hundredths to 2/100ths of an inch, just a deep cut. It would work well for that. Chamfers on these straight pieces are really easy. But when I go to the curved one, that's the foam comes out. Oh, are you making faces? Yes, the fun is in the corner box. There's that one. Now we got to do the corner piece, the curved piece. Man, I love those chamfers. That just looks happy. So, here is the curved piece. Let me grab Spokeshave and do all my chamfering with that. And so what I do is I just keep something else close, just to eyeball the chamfer to be about the same. The chamfers never touch, so it's not a huge issue. Just have to be very careful about direction. Yeah, that's the thing is a really well set up fine-tuned smoother. You can go with the grain, against the grain, any direction, but it only takes off 1/1000th of an inch or less. It's a really, really fine plane. Man, I love these curls. That's just happy. Yeah, that looks about right. Let's see if we got the same direction on this one. Difficulty with going on the curve is maintaining the angle, because I want to start at the right angle here, and by the time I get up here I find myself going flat. I got to keep the right angle up all the way up. Whew. There's that one. Turn around to the other side. Nope, gotta push. Going with the grain one way, going with the grain the other way. Ooh, okay, we got reversing grain. So from here down to here, I need to push. We'll do that a little bit first. Ooh, running into a jam here. There's that one, and then I got to finish up here pulling. So I've got this set up that it cuts really deep on one side and a little bit more shallow on the other. So if I want a deep cut, I can move from one side to the other. Oop, just bumped it the wrong way. Back that way. So I can get a shallow cut over here and a heavy cut over here. There we go. So on this side, it's okay to go all the way up. Grain is always a fun thing. You never quite know which way it's going to go until you experiment. Finishing cut. There we go. Oop. A little bit down here. Right back there in that transition area. There, we got a chamfer on the inside of this curve. Looks like I need to set an iron closer to the chip breaker. Yeah, that's one of the really important things is how close the chip breaker is incredibly important. Even without a close mouth, the chip breaker, you can often get away with just the chip breaker, but the close mouth makes it that much easier. My wife is willing to make me a chisel roll like yours. Oh, cool. She wants to see yours. Yeah, I can pull it out. Let me pull it out here just a minute. So I actually have an entire video where I show making the chisel roll. Because I have a chisel roll and I also have my mire roll. So here, let me bring the camera over and show you a little closer. Yeah, if anyone has something they want to see, let me know. I can pop it in here. There we go. So it's just a large piece of leather that's folded over, stitched in, and then a rivet to stop each stitch. And in my case, I didn't have a piece that was quite wide enough, so I stitched two pieces together, so I have this double seam down the middle where it overlaps that much. And then I just riveted on a wrap strap. Nothing pretty. I just make them off-centered, so this pocket is half a pocket, and the first one over here is a full pocket, so they go every other, so that the chisels pass each other as they come through. Like that. Yeah, I've got a whole video making this one. Oh, let me show you my... Oop. Gonna grab it. I'll be right back. Yeah, around this way. Where are they? Because I've got my riffler wrap. Yeah, JJ?
Someone is said, James, your son is, I can't figure out the next word for it.
Are you having fun over there, bud?
Yeah, he's
where did my riffler roll go?
He seems to be enjoying the screen time.
Yeah, he likes being on the screen. Yeah, I don't know where my riffler rolls went. I have to look for them because I have 200 and some rifflers, and so I have wraps that are made of waxed canvas that are done the same way. I'd love to see you throw together a simple bench, but with no planes and blunt chisel. Sorry, John, I don't know what you're talking about.
Thanks, James.
Yeah, if you go back and watch my first videos, I made a bench without a bench using I literally had about $12 in tools that I started with. And that's my other bench right over here. Why are the sharp edges out? Oh, on the chisel roll, if you put the sharp edges in, then what happens is they will cut into the end, and suddenly you'll have chisels poking out the ends of your rolls. Also, if the sharp end is all into the pocket and you unroll it, you can't see which chisel is which. So if you have all the sharp ends pointing out, when you unroll it, you can see them all. Also, because they pass each other, the chisels can't come out of the roll when they're rolled up. So it's actually safer to have the chisels pointing out. Now, I know that that's a bit of an argument, and some people are going to argue one way or the other. But for me, I find it much, much safer to have the chisels out of the holes because there's less chance of them actually poking me. I used to keep them with the chisels in the pockets, but that causes more issues because they poke through the outside and run through the chisel roll. And I've had several problems from that. So, personal preference though, whichever way you want to go.
Someone asks, where do you find a large buck saw?
I got mine on Craigslist. Just found them. I see them almost all the time at antique stores. Most of them need a good bit of work, but yeah, I've got 2 of them here. You like playing the role of mommy, JJ?
Yeah.
Taking off a really heavy cut. Now we're going on the outside here. Then switch around. Do a thin finishing cut over here. There's that part of the chamfer. Do the same thing on this side.
Are you
here
still
we're going with
building
the
that
grain.
workbench?
That makes sense. Thank you. I invert the blade, bevel up, and insert the blade first. Invert the blade, bevel up, and insert the blade first. Sorry, Torch, I don't know what you're saying. Hey, JJ,
Yes?
why don't you go upstairs? Sounds like Mommy's working on a project for you.
Oh, sure. Bye.
Sarah wants to do an art project with the kids this morning. It's kind of nice because she doesn't get much time with the kids now. We were actually rather surprised she wasn't called into work this morning, so we're enjoying our time together this morning. She'll probably come down here in a little bit. Happiness. Oh, I love these curls. It's so pleasing. Yeah, I was supposed to have the desk video out this morning, but I completely forgot to edit it yesterday. Just totally skipped my brain. And so I got to edit it tonight. And so hopefully the next desk video will be out tomorrow. So this step is actually what comes after the next step in the video. So you get to see into the future. But hopefully next week we're actually going to be doing a project with Melody. Because she's home, we decided to shoot a video. Because she's been begging me for a long time to make her an easel. So we're going to be doing a project with her making an easel. Gotta go the other way. Man, I love the 151. Flat bottom, so easy to use, so easy to adjust. Just a really, really good Spokeshave. Let's see how that goes. Cool. Well, there's one full set chamfered. What's your experience been with polymer iron wool? What grit would you associate with the colors regarding the final finish? I've never used polymer iron wool, so sorry. And I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. If you're talking about like sanding or smoothing, I often use micro mesh for turning. That has different colors for different grits. But I don't know what other one you're referring to, sorry. So now I need to actually mark these, because this is all 1 foot set and I've got these marks on here, but in order to do the smoothing I have to get rid of these marks. So, going to grab the Sharpie and I'll make sure I have this on here. 3 is up, 4 is down. You are 4. 4 goes that way. 3. Make sure that one's 3. 3 goes that way. So I'm going to mark these in here. This one is 3 top. This one is 4 bottom. And I want to go the top one on this. This is James' end of the desk. 3 and 4. Okay, so then on this one we have 3 and 4. There we go. So making sure this is all marked. Let me see, which desk did this one come out of? This one is 3, 4, 5, 6. Which one are you? 11, 12. Okay, so 3, 4, 5, 6 is downstairs. So that's this one, right? Yeah. Okay, so this is office. James end. There we go. Let's see. You talking about? Looking for a good source of beech, at least 3 inches thick. Find a local sawyer. That's about the best advice I can give you. Finding stuff 3 inches thick, you're probably not going to find at most sawmills. If you're talking about Scotch-Brite pads, I almost never use Scotch-Brite pads. Sorry. The wooden guides on my custom plane are actually what I use for chamfering. And I have a video showing making these. Because with the Veritas custom plane, there are screw holes on the side, so you can actually put in fences. So I made those for it. Yeah, I don't use Scotch-Brite pads, sorry. Let me make sure I've got the right ones on this. 2, 3, 4, your 10s, you're higher, your 1, 2. That's not making any sense. Okay, so yeah, you're part of that one. So this, okay, making sure I'm keeping these straight before I do this. So this is part of that desk. Because I'm making 2 desks side by side, and so there's 4 sets of legs. Gotta make sure they don't get into problems. Take this off. And take these off. Then we can start scraping. And some of these have a little bit of like epoxy squeeze out and things like that we gotta get rid of. So I'm going to use the card scraper. And try not to hit the microphone. Sometimes I pull, sometimes I push. Love these micro curls that come off. Watching them form is so cool. There's that one. And here we go. That one's just about ready for finish. Pretty. Yeah, I don't use steel wool much either. Let's actually tighten this up. I do occasionally if I'm adding paste to a hard finish. Hey, babe. The star of the show has arrived. You can now put up, you no longer have to put up with the B act.
Is it weird if I say Sarah's in the house? Since it's our house.
I love you, babe.
What are you doing? What are you making?
Yeah, just so everyone knows, due to everyone being forced inside, I no longer tell dad jokes. All of my jokes are inside jokes.
Yes. Thank you.
Working on the desk.
Working on the desk. All right, I gotta get.
That side's getting dull.
Yeah, this is
I haven't
Sarah's.
sharpened this one in a while.
This is what Sarah looks on an average Saturday, so I'm not getting dressed up today. All right. How big it was. Have you answered a lot of these questions?
Yeah, I'm up to date with the bottom.
Okay.
I'm just going slowly. So if anyone has inside stuff they want to talk with Sarah. That's looking pretty. Love that. Almost as good looking as my wife. In other words, I need to do some more work on it.
What?
I love you.
You think there's enough distance for a glare not to reach you between here and there?
Social distancing over here.
Glares still function.
Yeah, we're getting down to the dull side. I'm probably going to have to sharpen this one here soon. Thought I could get through today with it.
So let's just say to the succinct answer to Troy Jacobson asking how the virus thing is affecting me at work. Long days. Very long, long days. And I'm very happy to be home today. Let's just say that. And I'm very glad you all are staying home today. So thank you.
Yeah, you can try and ask her nursing questions, but she won't talk.
I like my job.
Yeah, if you ever wondered why, if you're on Facebook and someone asks, "Hey, I'm looking for a thing on should I take this or not," and you see all these opinions coming from people who aren't doctors and nurses, but you never see opinions coming from doctors and nurses, there's a legal reason for that.
Stay home, wash your hands. Oh, where's my kamikaze duck? I need to find that.
What's that?
Nothing.
So yeah, this is what the shop looks like most of the time when the camera's not on. Except for having Sarah here. That just makes everything much
Are
better.
you talking about the shop? I thought you were talking about our banter, and I was like, yeah, that's normal too.
Well, there's that too, yes.
So John Doe asks, what grits does one generally associate which color?
Yeah, we talked about that a little bit earlier, and I have no
Oh.
idea because
Okay.
I don't use those, so I have no idea what
I
colors
guess I don't
are.
have to track questions. I'm so used to doing
No,
that.
no, you don't have to record anything
I
down.
went to post them, and I was like, oh, no, never mind. So what's everybody else doing besides watching us? Anything interesting?
A few people who said they were in their shop working on something.
Ooh,
So I'm thinking later this week I'm going to actually do a hangout with people on the Hivemind
yeah.
so that I can see video of what you're working on. You can actually video chat.
Can you pan around the shop?
What's that?
They want to know if you can pan around the shop.
It's pretty messy in here right now. Let me show you. So we've got, because I have this, I'm back in the corner here, so there's the backdrop that you normally see. And so my bench is down here and working over here, as you can see. But then if we come around this way, then you've got the rest of the shop.
Oh.
So you've got my old bench right here. Refocus.
Focus.
So that's the old bench where I'm keeping that because I have, these are the two tops of the desk. And then my storage cabinet, wood storage. And Sarah way over there. Then over here, I've got parts storage projects I'm currently working on. And then coming around this way, switch back. I'm going to be putting my foot-powered scroll saw here. Here's the foot-powered lathe.
Can we
Exactly.
have you showed off the thing that got forged the other day, or is that still a surprise?
Oh, the pins? Yeah, that'll be a Saturday. That'll be, well, it was supposed to be today's video.
Whoops.
Oops.
Life's been turned upside down. Whoa.
That got scary really fast. See,
What's
that's
the big red button for?
Ah, the big red button right in there. That is a remnant of my old time. It does nothing. It just has a cord and it goes nowhere. But that is a control pickle because my master's work was in technical theater, and so it was like theater automation, special effects, that type of thing. And so I have that as my part of my history, where I came from.
I don't
So it
know.
doesn't do anything. It's just there to be happy.
I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I left the children upstairs painting in Melody's room.
All three of them in Melly's room painting.
Well, no, only one person's painting.
Well, you have open paint in the room, and all three of them are
I
in there.
know. I'm just embracing this whole quarantine thing to its fullest. I mean, it's gonna just be chaos the next 2 weeks, so whatever. I'm not the one stuck at home the whole time. I get to go do a different type of chaos.
Yep. She makes chaos and then runs away to different types.
Well, I try to control the chaos, actually, in my world. The little bit of control I can have.
Now, I've thought about doing a shop tour, but I'm personally not a huge fan of shop tours.
It's
So
a
it's
short
just something
trip.
I've never really done. Yeah, and I don't have that big of a shop. It's a lot bigger than it used to be, though.
So how big? Because John, who asked for you to pan around, says it's bigger than he thought. So how big is our?
My shop is 10 foot. Well, the working space is 10 foot by 20 feet. Then I have my office space that is 7 foot by 7 foot. So it's
Yeah, don't
pretty
ask
tight.
me any kind of spatial measurement. I'll take care of it when you're sick.
But
I don't.
I used to. I mean, if you go back and look at my old videos, I worked in the space of the shop that was 10 foot by 10 foot. And I could work just fine in there. It's just shooting videos. Cameras have to be moved certain distances back, and it doesn't work very well.
Oh, John's son is in technical theater and he works at a university.
Oh, really?
Kindred
Which university? I went to UW-Madison.
Oh,
Oh, the kids are free.
uh-oh,
Something coming to report about something
Uh-oh.
that happened.
uh-oh. Are you done?
Yes.
You coming back?
I'm gonna show you that one.
Someone
Sit
wants
on
to
my
be on the
lap.
screen.
Oh my goodness, you.
Someone likes being on the screen, huh?
Ah,
Are you gonna go help Daddy?
maybe.
You can come over here if you want.
You gotta put
You have
shoes
shoes
on,
on?
though.
Or flip flops.
Or flip.
No, no, shoes.
Shoes.
Closed-toed.
I have fuzzy pink slippers. That's about all I got. So are you doing?
Ooh, pretty.
Are you just saying?
I'm doing the finish smoothing on the legs because all the joinery is done. And so I'm going to,
Nice shoes.
my goal for today is to finish smooth
Come here, Daddy.
3 of the 4 sets. Hi, bud. And then to glue together, because we're actually going to glue together the leg structures. Hey, bud.
Can I help?
Not really right now, unless you want to sweep.
No.
No?
That sounds too much.
How
You're
I
gonna
think
come by
that was
mom.
that
Is that the
responsibility.
deal? So John's son works at Concordia in Edmonton, Alberta.
Ah, cool.
What you looking for, buddy?
No, my last job was at Sight and Sound Theaters in Pennsylvania.
Oh my
And
goodness.
Had
Oh,
a shop budget of $7 million, building 40-foot tall, GPS-guided mountains and such.
What do you want to tell everybody?
And now I teach hand tool woodworking. There, that's one full set that is put together. So I'm going to set this aside and work on the next set. That was one of 3 that I want to get done today. And then glue them up. That's the other thing I'd like to do. So let's see, which other set do I need? I need this set.
Oh, I don't have my stool. That's why my legs are.
Oh, sorry, I didn't think about
Can you
that.
go get mommy's stool? The stool that
And
she needs to empty
this
the washing
one.
machine.
So, let's start with this one.
Grazie.
This one with the split? No, that's the one with the split. I had one of these where the last lamination cracked on me. And unfortunately, I can't show it on video because I don't have any
What do you look
video
for
footage
ready?
of it cracking. But I was able to clamp it back together. But I'm planning on doing a video afterwards of problems with the bench and do a walk around and lessons learned and that type of thing. I like doing those afterwards. This one doesn't have that much. Other than you'll see in the next video, the large arch on the
It's
other
for
one.
something special. What are you doing special?
The 2 of the boards were cupped, and I forgot to put them cupped the same way together so they'd laminate well. And I thought, oh, I can just squeeze that out, and I couldn't. So I've got a gap between 2 of the laminations on it, as the cup was backwards. Oops, oh well. But it'll work fine because it still connects. It's just not a clean connection between them. Let's see.
You left it on the easel?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Is it there?
I thought your brother would come at me.
Oh, he works at ETC. Okay, cool. Yeah. No, UW Medicine's heavily supported by ETC because the guy who created ETC went to school at UW Madison, and I was actually offered a job at ETC and turned it down. I've turned down quite a few jobs over the years.
Yes, you have, and some strange jobs too.
Yeah. I was once offered to be a cell tower electrician. Basically, the guy who would climb cell towers and replace light bulbs. That'd be fun.
You decided it wasn't a bright idea.
Yeah. Good life insurance.
Yeah. Apparently, I told you how much I love you to not encourage you to take the job.
Do you love me?
So, because we have new people chiming in as to what you're making, you're just
Working on the desk. So this is the
moving
leg
the desk.
structure. And this will be part of the video coming in 2 weeks. So the video that was supposed to be today was about the back of the structure. And this will be part of the finishing video. So we're adding all the chamfers and then doing smoothing, getting everything ready for the glue up, because the legs are going to be glued together so that they're a permanent structure. Let's shift this down to be more usable. That's better.
I'm so excited. We have lots of Europeans and like Australians and
Yeah, it's
much are
nice not to be
non-American
at
and
nighttime.
Canadians who usually can't make our lives. I'm excited. And anybody else who joined us.
Yeah, I'll probably be doing a few more lives over the next week or so for some reason. There's enough people at home now that they're actually viable.
Why don't you just go get dressed?
No.
My exhibitionist daughter.
How do I know?
Hey, bud. No sawing right now. That'd be really loud by that microphone. And unfortunately, I'm using the Spokeshave that you guys normally use. Yep.
Where did you put your old painting? No, we didn't.
You know your ties are behind you for your... Whoa.
There. Chamfer all the way
What
around
are
the
you
inside.
Do you want to...
I want a sharper one.
You want to... Does it even have one in there? But look. Does it have...
It's so
Can I see?
electrician to listen to the wood.
Yeah, there's
Oh,
there's not anything in there for you to plane with. Do you want to use Mommy's little plane? If Daddy will give it to you? My little green and red one?
it's not sharp.
Oh.
What?
Here, you want to use a plane, JJ? You want to use a Spokeshave?
Yeah.
I think this one is good for you. Oh, yeah. Except for I have to adjust it for you. Come here.
You want me to get the stool out? He can sit on
Oh, no, if you move the saw bench behind you with the leather on it, just slide that out of the way. There's a piece in that vise for him to work on. Oop, no, don't climb on that. Don't climb on that.
What's this?
That's a card scraper. Careful, it has sharp corners.
What's this for?
Alright.
Well, you'll see in a little bit when I use it. Here you go, JJ.
Oh, is it for like smoothing areas out?
Yep.
Like I'm doing right now with it.
Let's see, what other questions we got?
Okay, JJ, here you go. Now careful. That, look, sharp edge, remember? Good.
You're kind of used to this. You got it the right way? Do you need me to fix it? Oh,
Yeah, like it.
you want it flat?
You can't have the structure.
I adjust it for you.
Okay, good.
Okay, what do you want me to do? You want it like this?
Yeah.
Do you need my stool?
Yes.
I'm gonna go get it out of under the computer. Although, you came down here and went live after you said you would make me toast.
Oh! I forgot. I'm sorry, babe. I came into the bedroom and asked if she wanted anything for breakfast, and she said, "Can you make me some toast with some butter on it?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'll go make you toast with butter." 2 hours later,
You
no toast for
disappeared.
you. Sorry, babe.
You don't love me.
I don't. It's okay.
All right, so Bob Driggers wants to know, how long will that card scraper last until it needs maintenance?
It's pretty close to being done, but
JJ,
if
are
I
you
were to
pulling
sharpen
it the
all
right
four,
way?
JJ,
JJ, look at Daddy.
look, I'm doing it. You want it on a corner, like that, and then slide across like that. Now, JJ, your bottom hand. No, put it on there. Your bottom hand, pull it closer to your belly. Your top hand should be farther away from your belly. No, other way, like that. Yeah. Let me come show you.
You might want to come show him.
Yep. You just finish this edge, and I'll come on over.
All right, let's see. What other questions? Did you answer the card scraper question?
Not really. Card scraper. It depends. If I scrape all four sides, I could probably get through 20 minutes or so of scraping between all four corners of it. But it really depends. If I have a really, really fine edge on there, it may only last me, 3 or 4 minutes of scraping. If I have a really heavy burr on there, I might last for an hour or
what
more.
are you touching?
And so it all depends on how hard or solid of a burr you want to put on there. Let me show you what I'll do over here. Okay, JJ, let me show you. No, watch this.
Oh, buddy, yeah, no.
What you're doing is you're going straight across. You want to skew it like this.
You gotta remember, he's lefty, so.
Yep. Here, let me actually, it's a bit of a heavy cut right now. This one's a hard one to adjust. Give me just a minute here.
He's the one where two rights make a left. All right, let's see. On average, how many hours a week do you spend woodworking?
Actual woodworking, probably only about 10 to 15 hours. Most of my time is spent the social media side or
Whoa, JJ,
no, it's a chalk line. Chalk line. You're dumping out all the chalk. I don't know why that's over here with the kids' stuff. Watch out, watch out. No. Okay, watch out. Oop, garbage just up.
Oops, 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 oops.
Why are we screaming?
JJ, watch. Okay, we're in here. Now we need a little bit more. Watch out again. There you go. See, that's what we're looking for. See that?
Yes.
Okay, let me see what you do. Nope. Turn it like this. Here, turn this hand around like that. There you go. Here, let's move your stool. Hold on. I'm going to move you. There you go. Now, yeah, keep this hand back here. See how it's at an angle? You want to keep that angle. There you go. Just do it like that. No, that's straight across. Keep the angle. There you go. Keep working at it. You'll get it. It's one of those things that just takes a good bit of practice. Oop. Move the camera back.
JJ, what should we have for lunch? You want to lunch? Oh, yeah, you guys can have Lunchables.
Right
Go
now?
for it. Sure.
Yeah, go tell your brother and sister.
I think we should have bought stock and Lunchables. Oscar Mayer, isn't that who makes them?
Lazy lunch. I'm working. You guys go eat Lunchables. And they're happy. They have no problem with that.
We are resourceful.
There you go. Nice chamfer on all four corners of the leg arch. Sorry, I pointed that camera the wrong way. What other things we got going on?
Oh. I think we're about to be invaded. Ask your dad for some toast for lunch. Oh, I thought we were getting invaded. Maybe they're invading the Lunchables.
So now I'm going to use my Veritas custom plane, and I've got chamfer fences that I built for it, and I have a video showing how to make these
I have no
from
idea where your phone is.
almost 2 years ago
I
now.
didn't lose it. Did you have it last night?
And these just, most of the time, I'm just going to chamfer with a block plane, or a regular plane. But these make it so that every one of my chamfers is exactly the same. And they just make it a little bit easier so I don't have to think about it. I know my angle is going to be at 45 degrees. And they just make everything a little bit faster and easier. I really don't use them unless I'm going to be doing a lot of chamfering, like in this project. And just like that, we have a chamfered edge.
What are we making? We're smoothing parts of the desk.
Doing the last finishing
I wish
touches
we
on
could
the
make a
desk
banner
bed.
that said that somewhere.
Well, it's the first line in the description of the video.
Is it?
So it's right underneath the video. Tonight we're working on a desk. I guess I shouldn't say tonight because it's afternoon now.
Well, it might be there tonight.
What's that?
It might be there tonight.
Truth. Where am I at? No, where are we?
Where do you get the screws that fit for the fence on that plane?
I believe they're 1032, or maybe these were metric. No, these ones are standard. No, they're just a standard bolts. I got them at the big box store.
Are you just smoothing with the plane?
Yeah, pretty
Should
much.
I come?
What?
Should I? Oh, hang on. We're being invaded.
So you guys are probably hearing thunder, 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 thunder because the microphone's
Yes,
attached to the
maybe.
ceiling.
For Melody Shopkins.
I don't know where Melody Shopkins are. Did you ask Melody?
Yeah. She let me borrow them. Where they were.
Last I knew they were in her room.
Yeah, a lot of my time over the last few weeks has actually been spent working on the chisel test. And so I finished all of the chop work on that.
What are you using?
What's that?
What is that?
What is what?
In your hand.
This?
Yes.
It's the Veritas Plane I was just talking about.
Oh, I wasn't paying attention. I was talking to your son.
No, it has the...
Is it a router? What?
No, it's a regular... Well, it's the Veritas custom plane, but I have fences on here that have chamfer grooves in them.
Fence. Got it. Get a solo tech, get a whiteboard and hang it behind James. Write what project you were doing. That's actually a really
That is a very good
idea.
idea. Do we have a board like that? Because I'm going to do this over the next week or so.
I may have the dryer. I'll be back.
So who knows how long this isolation thing will last. We've got a vacation planned for late May, early June. But yeah, I don't think we're going to be doing that. In the right angle. Yep, there we go. Cool. There's all four corners of this. This is the vertical of the leg structure. An easy first project for your grandson. I have a whole playlist of projects with the kids. And a bird feeder or a bird house, making their own toolbox. I actually, on my website, woodbywright.com, I have a whole selection of free plans, and most of the free plans are great projects for kids. Especially if you do anything that has butt joints with dowels, it's quick and easy to do because you cut boards to length. Or once they're to the right age, they can cut their own boards to length. And then it's all about drilling holes and pounding in dowels and gluing them into place. Decent joinery. Kids have fun, easy to do. But a bird feeder, bird house, toolbox, making a small box. But I would honestly say that the most important thing when working with kids is find something that they are interested in. Find something that they like. And a lot of times that can actually be you showing them something and then making them like it. Like when I made the bird feeder, well, the kids were never really interested in a bird feeder, but describing what the bird feeder will do and bringing birds to the house, and that made them think, oh yeah, I think I'll like a bird feeder. And then they were kind of invested in it. It was something that they wanted to do because it was their project. Oh, I love this part. There we go. Oh, sorry, I don't have a translator to read the Russian. If yes, I have a video on making the fences for this plane. It's from like 2 years ago. If you look up Wood by Wright Chamfer Plane, you'll see the video. Because I really have very little use for a chamfer plane. The only reason I do this is I want the exact same chamfer, and I've got a lot of it to do. So if I just had a few pieces, I'd usually just grab the block plane, chamfer it quickly, and be done. Because it takes a little while to put these fences on and set it up. But once you do, it's really nice because they're set up, they're quick, they're easy, and you can do every chamfer exactly the same. Hey, the poor man, how's it going? Sorry for the Russian. If someone can translate it, I would love to read it, but I can't translate anything on here to read it. And these little pieces on the end, the plane doesn't quite work with. There's a little bigger splinter than I wanted to take off. Well, chamfer will hide that.
I'm back.
There we go.
Whoa.
I'm going to use the block plane to just ease the corners over.
Russian or something going on here.
Yeah.
blank. Okay,
What's that?
Plan B. Can I use these clipboards?
Yeah. Don't think anyone will see anything that small, though.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think I'll do that for the next time, is actually create some sort of banner to go on the bottom. That's probably about a half hour's worth of work to set up an initial banner for it.
Can I write on the back? This must be from Wildcats. Can I use it?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Hang on. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything. Did you talk about a easy project for?
Yep.
Okay.
Oop, gotta do these first. So today we're actually going through and chamfering all the edges, then smoothing them out, getting everything ready for the glue up and finishing on the legs.
Okay.
So this is what a lot of my shop time looks like, except for a lot of music going in the background or something like that, or audiobook. Almost always have an audiobook going. Or podcast, or kids popping in occasionally and saying, "Daddy, daddy, 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 daddy."
Occasionally.
That's pretty common too.
What did you say you called this? Just.
What's that?
What are you titling this?
I'm working on finishing the legs of the desk. I'm thinking about doing a Google Hangout with people on the Hive Mind.
I'm trying to
So
figure
you
out.
can set up your camera in your shop and I can see what you're doing, you can see what I'm doing. Here. Set it right here. Does that work?
My beautiful handwriting that I never got an A in.
You never got an A in
I
handwriting?
never got an A in handwriting, and
That'd
I'm
be
not
the only
bitter
thing-
at all about it. Let me
There.
get my stool back since JJ left. Do you want any brownie batter before I eat it all?
Oh, one spoonful would be good.
Do you want a spoonful of brownie? This is how we snack. This is our.
Yeah, make up a mixed
Treat.
bag of brownie batter without the egg. Just add a little bit more water and a little bit more oil. And devour. Ooh, thank you, babe.
This is our lunch. So nutritious.
Mm. I'm not going to.
Alan Ball. If anyone remembers that commercial.
Alan Ball.
Alan Ball. From what, the 90s?
No.
Anyways. Let's see. What are we finishing Myra's box on the Tuesday live? I think that's the goal.
Yeah, we'll see about that now.
Oh, because of the social distancing.
Yeah, I don't know if she'll be coming over for that. We haven't decided if I'll just finish it without her or if we put it off till later or what. Yeah. Any plans for green woodworking? You know, I don't have. That's not something that really intrigues me. Though one of these days I would like to take a log and turn it into a chair, all green woodworking, done on a spring pull lathe. That'd be a lot of fun. But
Well,
not yet. What's that?
I was just thinking, depending on what else they decide to shut down, that might be.
Yeah.
Aaron Burr, 1975.
We're gonna go in the backyard and I need more lumber.
1975 Bright knew what we were talking about.
What's that?
We had one person know our.
Alan Burr?
Aaron Burr.
Awamba.
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 All the Europeans are probably like, what are they talking about?
A commercial from like 20
They may
years
know
ago.
the name Aaron Burr from Hamilton.
Yeah.
But
So I did all the chamfering on this leg set, so now I'm going to come in and scrape it all down. and it'll be ready for glue up. Then after the glue up, I'm going to come through and scrape it all again, and it will be ready for finish. Most of these just need a cursory scrape in case there's any ding or pencil mark or something of that nature that came out. Some of them you have some epoxy that dripped on them.
All right. Ken Strohmeyer wants to know, how do you keep from wanting to rush a project?
Kids will not let you. You know, when I first was getting into, well, anytime I'm first getting into a new hobby, like when I was first getting into woodworking or I first got into hand tool woodworking, that was all consuming and I would rush every project. But now that I've been doing it for a while, there's less rushing. But part of that's due to the teaching aspect in that I spend a lot of time slowing down so that I can actually show what I'm doing and recording it, and so that forces me to slow down a lot of things.
Your sign's a bit in the way, and I do see their point now.
What?
The sign's in the bit.
Oh, I'm trying to figure out where I could put it. Oh, let me see if I can do this.
Can you put it in? Yeah, I was just going to
Put
say.
it in a vise. No, can you read it there?
Is that make it an advice?
Ooh. Maybe I'll steal Melody's easel.
I was kind of thinking that.
Use that for the future.
It's got a pineapple picture right now.
Easel? Is that what JJ decided to
That's
draw?
what JJ, a pineapple and a tomato or something. I don't know. I don't know if they're his biggest vices because he's allergic to pineapple or what.
He's drawing things that terrify him.
Like
There
the
you
scream.
So then, this one.
Oh, put it behind me. You know, we really could put
Yeah,
a
that'd be
little
good to put it
something.
up there.
Ooh, you hit 16,000 on wood by right too.
What's that?
I said you hit 16,000 on wood by right too.
Yeah. That was last night, actually.
Are we asking for suggestions for other lives?
Sure.
Your thoughts for all of you stuck at home?
Yeah, that's one of the interesting things with... Oh, I got to mark all these out because I put all the tape markings on here. So now I actually need to lay these out so that I know... Uh-oh. That one came off the wrong one.
Uh-oh.
Which ones do we have here? 9, 10. Oh, that would be why it was all twisted. No, that's
Can
not
I
that.
put it on the lights?
Oh, that's what I did. Oops. Oh, well. Well, such is life. So top and top. Let's do it that way then. Can you put it on the lights?
No, behind me. Like, could I rest it on top of here? But I don't know if that sign particularly is big enough.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to be able to read it that far away. In the future, I'll have something.
We'll
set
make
up. I'll probably do like a
plan.
banner that goes at the bottom.
The
Okay, let's
wife
see.
and I had a game for many years where we say a line from a movie and the other one has to guess the movie.
Oh, yeah.
We do that all the time.
We do that all the time.
We have our favorite lines too.
Okay, so this one is, just saying, I'm thinking through this project because this one is this. So this is upstairs. This is KIDS Sarah End. Yes. And the other one I have gluing is James End. Yep, cool. So.
Poor man, I think the idea for a lie was a bird nesting castle.
Bird nesting castle. Huh, that'd be kind of fun. James. So yeah, I've got this leg. This is one leg structure that I had gluing up. Luke was here yesterday, so we did all the chamfering and finishing on this and glued it up. So I'm hoping to get these other 3 glued up today, but that won't be until the video in 2 weeks. Okay.
My wife is too normal to get my movie references. I'm sorry. Well, apparently I have street cred I learned this today because I have watched all of the Dragon Ball Z series. Apparently that's a big...
Serious street cred.
Serious street cred. And I really want... You know how, like, Nike has the saying, like, just do it? I want a shirt with, what's his face? Goku?
Or
it says,
Vegeta.
just saying.
Yes.
Just saying. Anyways. The kicker is my name is Joanne.
So what I'm doing is I'm putting marks on the insides of the
Oh,
joint
poor man. I'm so sorry.
so I can see them later. My wife wouldn't what?
My wife wouldn't play because, besides, she doesn't watch the same movies as me. I saw sorry.
It's one thing my wife and I do a lot together. We scold kids together and we watch movies together.
And we eat the brownie batter together.
We've eaten that brownie
To
batter.
have and to hold.
We may not drink the Kool-Aid, but we do eat the brownie batter.
No, our favorite movie, I think, to quote, would have to be My Big Fat Greek Wedding.
Yes.
That is just such a quotable movie, and if you've never seen it, or if you have a family like mine that it's like imitating real life.
Yeah, My Big Fat Greek Wedding is what I went through.
It's still what you
I still remember one of her cousins coming up to me on our engagement and coming up to me and saying, if you ever... And then he turned around and walked away. Nate.
Nate did that?
Nate.
Oh, I thought it was Matt.
No. Matt was standing by.
Oh, okay, well, yeah.
Yeah, Nate and Matt are like the two cousins, the two brothers, and
They're the cousins.
the cousins. Yeah,
Well, the one is the brother of,
yeah.
but. Tell us how Dragon Balls ends. Oh my gosh. It's such a long time now.
Everybody dies.
What else is in the brownie you're not saying? Chocolate chips. Chocolate chips. That's what else is in the brownie.
Yeah, we are in Illinois. You gotta be careful sometimes.
They're not baked. She doesn't like Lord of the Rings. Okay, I haven't seen Highlander, but I love Lord of the Rings and Hobbit, and
She likes Lord of the Rings and Hobbit more than I do.
I know. That's
Which,
because
I mean, I like them. I like them a lot, but I don't like them that much.
That's because I'm the nerd and you're the geek.
Yes, this
There
is very
is a
true.
slight difference. And Monty Python, I don't think I've seen all of Monty Python. I've seen Holy Grail.
You know, we watched the whole thing right after we were married.
We watched all of them, or just Monty Python?
Well, the Holy Grail, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, there's other ones.
Oh, yeah. But the Holy Grail is like the key one. You gotta watch the Holy Grail.
Should be nothing in case the kids find it. They're not allowed to have our brownie batter. We love them dearly.
They're still to the age that we can hide things from them fairly easily.
No, but here's the thing. We made it through childhood into adulthood. We can have our few treats in life. Don't worry, they're very excited to move out of our house because we keep telling they can't have fun things until they move out. Let's see. Do you make or purchase the tool yourself?
Depends. I love having a tool that I made myself that fits me. And there's a lot of things like that I just really, really like. But then again, there are tools that are just really well made to such a fine detail that if you've got the money, like the Veritas Custom Plane. This is by far my absolute favorite plane of any plane ever made. If I had my druthers of any plane I could pick, it would be a Veritas Custom Plane. It's just incredibly smart and immensely well designed. It's a beautiful machine. And I could probably make something to do most of the features that this does. But it would not be as good a quality. And so for me, spending the money on this was well worth it. But I have quite a few tools that I've made, and I wouldn't buy their manufactured equivalent. Just because it's the tool that I like. Like a mallet, for goodness sake. Make your own mallet. Don't buy a mallet.
Mallet?
It's what brings us together.
Okay, Princess Bride is another favorite of ours to quote.
We haven't watched that one in a while. We should do that again.
I was actually thinking that. But we don't own it. It's so sad.
Yeah, we do.
We do?
It's on Disney Plus, isn't it?
Now I must look. Is your minivan the Dodge Grand Canyon? I thought Caravan. I don't.
We have a Town and Country, so really somewhere.
I'm glad you answered that because I couldn't remember. I just know it's red.
Yeah. We used to have a Grand Caravan.
Does it start when I turn it on? That's all
Yes.
I care about. Welcome to James's shop, where we talk about everything but woodworking. Do you wear the apron behind you? No, mostly see you without. No, James wears it.
I don't wear it much anymore.
You used to wear it a
I
lot.
used to wear it all the time. And if I work with power tools, definitely. But with hand tools, I just haven't found a need for it. The reason I used to wear it all the time is I had my microphone built into it. But now with Luke here, we use a shotgun mic now. And so I don't need the microphone built into the apron. So I don't wear an apron much anymore. I just don't have a huge use. A lot of people really like it because they can store tools in it. They can store their card scraper and their square and that type of thing. But that's because they have a larger shop where they're walking around or they're going from power tool to power tool. Whereas for me, I can always turn around and without moving my feet, I can grab the tool that I need. That's just, so I have no reason to have an apron with pockets because I have all my tools right here.
And James does his own laundry, so
Yeah.
he doesn't care.
Yes, I do my own laundry. I now do the kids' laundry too.
Well, we must let go of certain things during these troublesome times. It's called Sarah's too busy at work to do it. I need to do my laundry. I know you're taller.
I am not allowed to touch her laundry.
No, James isn't taller. Duck, James is just 6'1".
What's
It's
that?
just the Duck thinks you're taller than you are, but I think the clogs make you look taller.
Yeah, the clogs add 1.5 inches. And yes, for those who ask, I wear these wooden clogs every day. They are incredibly comfortable. And I stand on a concrete floor, no padding, with the clogs all day long.
James probably just looks really tall when he stands next to me.
Yeah,
Because when you're 4'10", it has a way
Everybody's
of giving
tall.
an optical illusion of grandeur to everybody else.
the burr on this is holding out really long. That's one of the interesting things about card scrapers. Sometimes the burr holds out incredibly long, and sometimes it doesn't. Okay, there's another set all done. So this one is part of this set. So I'm going to set that over here so I don't get them confused. So I've done all the chamfering and
Uh-oh. Hi, Sissy.
scraping on 2 sets.
Okay, why do you have clothes on and a
They wanted
bathroom?
Do you want to come over here and say hi, Melody?
You can come in and say hi.
I do.
Melody has recently gotten this shy streak. We don't know where it's come from.
It's because
She's a fine arts student.
older, but why are you wearing a bathrobe?
I wanted to.
Okay.
I'm just pretending to be a unicorn.
Here, before I do all that, I'm going to mark
Well,
these
that's
up.
a good reason to pretend.
So
to be
1 and 2.
Are you coming into the shop, or are you just
1
needing me
and
to do your
2.
Yes.
Yes, what?
Meaning.
2
I forgot.
and 1. Okay, so this one is Sarah's end
That one and then
on
this one.
Yep, and then you weave it
office.
back here. And then here. And then you can tuck it in if you want.
Right. It's
Why do
stronger.
you have your boots
Sarah's
on? Just to
end.
come in the shop?
Yeah, and I label a lot of my
Audio.
furniture by who sits at what end. Like my bed, I have Sarah's side and James's side all marked out. So for the desk, it's for both of us. So there's Sarah's end of the desk and my end of the desk. It works. So we have 1, Sarah, and 2. And then on this one we need 1 and 2. Okay, then I can get rid of the tape.
All right, so let's see. What are your clogs made of?
Poplar! We're gonna make you popular.
I was waiting for that. was waiting for. We also do lots with musicals.
Yep.
We only saw Wicked, what, 7 times?
Actually, I think I have 8 playbills from Wicked.
You can tell we went a lot before children.
Yes. And on our honeymoon.
We didn't see Wicked.
No, we tried to see Wicked,
We
but we didn't
tried.
get that one in.
We got to see Phantom, which was awesome.
Sarah made a crazy splash on Broadway.
Yeah, Sarah and Smog do not mix.
No, like literally a splash on Broadway.
Well, then I was imagining me and a giant dragon since we were talking about Lord of the Rings. Other Smog. All right, hang on. Carlos says, hi from Spain. How long did it take you to learn how to correctly use your hand tools?
Well, first off, I have to say there is no such thing as the correct way to use hand tools.
But there is the right way.
Yes, there is the right way. For those of you in other countries, that's because my last name is Wright. Those who had to laugh last usually had to have it explained. So I mean, don't worry about doing it the right way or the wrong way, the correct way or the incorrect way. Just grab a tool and go at it. As long as you're safe, that's good. Hand tools for me were a little bit different because I spent most of my life growing up doing power tools. And so until 5 years ago, I owned a set of chisels, but I never sharpened them. I never used them. I never owned a hand plane. But I knew joinery. I knew what things needed to go together in order to make woodworking. I just did it completely with power tools. And then when I got into hand tools, it wasn't as much learning all the joinery and things like that. It was just learning how to sharpen. And that's usually the big thing with hand tools is learning how to sharpen. Because that's the skill that you've got to pick up. And until you've actually used sharp tools, you're kind of banging your head against a wall. So, I mean, if you go back and watch my early videos, Wood by Right, the channel, literally started with me buying my first hand plane. And I bring it into the house and I say, here's my first hand plane. I'm going to start restoring this. And so if you go back and watch the videos, it is my entire hand tool journey from day one until now. So if you want to see that, go for it. And there's a lot of me using a plane and being like, oh wow, this is so much fun to play with. And then the next day be like, oh, this is what sharp is like. And the next day I sharpen a little bit better and it's like, oh, okay, this is what sharp feels like. And the next day I come back and like, this is what sharp feels like. And every time I got a little sharper, everything felt so much better and easier. It was kind of a fun exploration just to experiment and play with. Yay, chamfers. Oh, I love these beautiful chamfers. Do I have a Stanley 72? No, I do not.
Hang on.
For those of you, I have a video making the fences on this chamfer plane. If you want to see that.
What was I just going to say? Oh, the duck says he never would have looked at a minivan except it was for you, probably when you got the slabs around Matt Cremona's. But he's liking the heated seats and steering wheel, which I'm a little bummed because ours suddenly went out. The heating element.
Yeah. Well, we gotta.
At the end of winter, not the beginning of winter.
Something is popping our fuse, and I gotta figure out what it is. Yeah, I used to own a truck, but honestly, for 90% of what I do, I'd rather have a minivan than a truck. For almost, well, actually, like 95% of what I haul, I'd rather have a minivan than a truck. Because you can almost always close the back of the minivan. I mean, I can fit 12-foot long lumber in my van and close the door. I can fit full sheets 4x8 by 2 foot high and close the door. And it's at a lower working height, making it easier to move around. It's a very convenient, easy way to do it. If it's raining outside, no problem at all, because I can close the door.
What was I going to tell you?
What's that?
Paul's wife wants to know if you can also clog dance.
That one's only on the paying tour.
If you go on our Instagram page
Yeah.
and you scroll back a while, you will find James clog dancing. The ending is to fall for. All right, let's see. See, Brian Bear says, I'm thinking of making clogs. Is it one block of poplar, and what was the dimensions?
Yeah, it is. Well, I bought these. I didn't buy these. These were sent to me by a friend from the Netherlands, and they were rough shaped. So it was a blank. And so I went inside and I scraped out the inside to fit my foot. And then I did the carving on the outside. So I didn't actually carve the main shape, and I didn't remove the most of the material from the inside. One of these days I'd like to do that, but it's on the list. So these are 5.5 inches wide by 13.5 long by 5 inches tall. So 5.5 by 5 inches by 13.5, and I have a size 12 American foot. So they're big blocks of wood. Let's see, ooh, yes, this one.
You like big blocks and you cannot lie.
I do.
I'm sorry.
It's the reason I married you.
Oh, we're getting slap happy over here. What else are we doing?
Yeah, if I don't emerge from the social distancing, it wasn't COVID-19. It's probably my kids.
So Sharon from Australia asked, do you find yourself having a preference to older tools more because my work...
What's that?
I'm trying to read this. Oh, do you find yourself having a preference to older tools?
Yes and no. Older tools are almost always cheaper to get into. And so when I first got started, I mean, my woodworking budget was $12. And I bought all my first tools for $12. And it was a set of chisels, a saw, and my first plane. And from there on, I was just buying the cheapest thing I could and restoring it. For me, it was worth putting the money in, putting the time in it than putting the money in. If you have the money, then your money is worth less than your time. But in my case, my time was worth far less than the money. So it was cheaper for me to buy stuff that needed to be restored and worked on. But yeah, you put the work into an old tool, and you can get it to do just about as much as a newer one, with a few odd exceptions. One of them being like the Veritas custom plane, because there are things done to this that weren't around for older tools. And so you can get new things that have other bells and whistles. But in the hand tool world, there really aren't a lot of things that are new and inventive. I mean, there's a few things, but not that much. And so for most of my things, antique tools is the way I go. Not because of I have a preference for doing things historically, it's just because it's a cheaper thing for me to do. Love a good chamfer.
So John wanted to know, when was the last time you sharpened the plane you had used? Not the little one, you're just using the Veritas one.
I sharpened this 2 days ago, and I have all today working on the chamfer on it, and then 20 minutes working on the chamfer on Thursday. That's about it. So I mean, usually for light work, I get an hour to 2 hours worth out of it before taking it back and sharpening it. But that really depends on what I'm doing. If I'm taking really fine finishing shavings, I might sharpen this every 20-30 minutes or less. If it's my scrub plane, I might sharpen that once a year because it just doesn't, it works just as well as dull. I mean, now if I want to get a really nice cut with it, in other words, I'm looking for low amounts of tear out and a nice smooth cut, or I kind of like that texture to be in there, then I'll take it and sharpen it and get a good edge on that. But for most of the time, if I get a little bit of tear out from the scrub plane, it really doesn't matter. It's a scrub plane. I'm going to come back and clean it up with another plane later. So it really depends anywhere from 20, 30 minutes of use to a year's worth of use. But for this, on general work, it's usually I have an hour or 2 hours worth of work before I'll go back and sharpen it again, just for general cutting purposes.
All right, let's see what else I got. Bum, bum, bum.
Now for the leg structure on this, I'm going to finish it with the card scraper. For the top, I'm probably going to end up finishing it with the plane and then polishing out epoxy spots.
So Kai wants to know, can I reshapen the new auger bits too?
Resharpen them?
Yep, that's what I was supposed to say.
Yeah. Most of them, yes. If they are hardened, then no. But if they are hardened, don't buy them, because hardened teeth on an auger bit break off. But yes, as long as the steel is soft enough, you can sharpen them. I have a video, actually I have a couple videos on sharpening augers. Hefty chamfer. That's pretty. Let's see, this one.
So Trump wants to know, what's the best plane to get when you start woodworking, in your opinion?
Whichever one you get. It depends on what you're doing. If you're planning on making large pieces of furniture, then get a number 5. If you're working on smaller pieces of furniture, then get a number 4. Both of them have a wide range of what they can do. Just a longer sole makes it easier to joint things. A smaller sole makes it easier to smooth out spots and work in little detailed. So it really depends on what you're wanting to do.
Didn't you make a boomerang sometime on your channel?
Yep.
Where'd you put that?
It's up on the shelf over here. Why?
Nothing.
No throwing the boomerang in the shop.
All right, let's see. Do you sharpen your bevel up planes more frequently?
No, I actually sharpen my bevel up planes far less because I rarely use them. I don't use them that much, other than like the block plane. But no, the blade goes dull just about. Well, no, actually, most of my bevel up planes are at a 25-degree angle, and that does tend to dull faster than my regular bench planes, because most of my bench planes I sharpen at a 35-degree angle, and the 35-degree angle holds its edge much longer than a 25-degree angle. So yes, most of the time I do. And also that's because most of the time with my low angle plane, I'm doing end grain, and with end grain, it's got to be sharp. It's got to be really, really sharp. So I do end up sharpening my low angle planes, my bevel up planes, more than my bevel down planes. I just don't use them that much, so I don't sharpen them that often. So. You like not saving questions?
You know, it just flows. Well, and you're also not necessarily trying to explain something per se. It's a very like
kind of like this laid back
chill. Like if I could invite you guys over, I would, but you know that's very frowned upon right now. Like I'm waiting for like someone to make a new rendition of "Do You Hear the People Sing" like somehow with coronavirus.
Do you what?
From Les Mis. Do you hear the people?
Oh, do you?
Like I'm just waiting for something like that, like all of those remakes.
Now I got that in my head. It's better than Chicken Attack. Thank you.
I still haven't watched that.
Yeah, if any of you are watching this right now, go Google Chicken Attack song. You can hate me later. It's basically Japanese yodeling. But Les Mis is a much better thing to have stuck in your
Les
head.
Mis is a much better thing.
Like Cats. One of the most pointless plays ever created with one decent song. And the rest of it's just
I
worthless.
like that musical.
Like, what in the world is a Jellicle Cat?
It's based off a poem.
But what is a Jellicle Cat?
I have that song in my head. But not, I haven't seen the new Cats. I'm talking about old Cats.
Yeah.
The new Cats kind of scares me, to be honest.
We'll probably watch it here sometime.
Have you watched the old one?
What's that?
Have you watched the old one?
Yeah.
Did I make you watch it?
We watched the movie and we watched it in Chicago.
We didn't see Cats in Chicago.
Yeah, we did.
No, we didn't.
I forgot the playbill.
We saw Cats in Chicago. When did we see Cats in Chicago?
Like right after we were married.
Cats?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Now I'm trying to remember. Is that like the song that will never end?
Chamfering with a Spokeshave.
So how do you decide which one you want to use? The Spokeshave versus...
Well, the plane is great for a straight edge, but it doesn't work well on a rounded surface. And so the Spokeshave will work perfectly fine on a rounded surface. Especially on the inside surface, there'd be no way to get the plane in there.
Gotcha.
I guess I could set up my compass plane with fences, but that would take a lot more time than just grabbing a Spokeshave and doing these. I just have to make sure these get close to the same size of a chamfer.
Yeah.
They don't have to be exact, but they just have to be close.
So poor man asked if I like poetry. I know Cats is based off the poems by T.S. Eliot. That's why I said that. I do enjoy poetry. Random fact you guys don't know. James is actually a published poet, technically. He has one poem that got published in a book. I can't think of what the book is called now.
Ode to the Moon.
No, it's not.
Something like that.
It's upstairs. I have the book upstairs. But anyways, he used to actually write a lot of poetry when we were dating.
Now that I got her, there's no reason to do more
He's
poetry.
a romantic at heart. Don't let him fool ya. No, not lamb chops in my head, thanks.
What? Oh, lamb chops.
This is a song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend. Now I'm gonna sing it. Some people started singing it.
Thanks, guys.
No. Sorry.
Some people started singing it forever just because this is a song
No,
that
continue
doesn't...
singing it forever just because this is the song. Sorry. We're sorry. It's better than other songs we could get stuck in your head. Sounds like he's just justifying owning lots of tools. Block plane versus Spokeshave. Was it an Irish limerick book sold at Spencer's? No. No, it was not. Reading to the people in line at Starbucks doesn't count as published. No, it's legit. It's legit. It was called The Soul. Wasn't it? Wasn't that the
I thought it
title?
was Ode to the Moon.
The book is Ode to the Moon.
Yeah.
Yeah, but your poem is
Oh, no,
The
it's
Soul.
the soul of a poet. It's a poem about poetry.
Hang on, I'm going to go find it.
No, I've been published for poetry, and I was published for in a theater tech journal about running multiple turntables off of a single motor. Here she comes, folks. You can be quiet now.
A Surrender to the Moon.
A Surrender to the Moon. There it is.
Let's see.
Oh, you're gonna read it? Oh.
Oh, do you not want me to read it? No, the seed. I don't even have the right title.
What's that?
It's the seed.
Ah, the seed. Yes.
Okay. I don't know. Maybe we need to get some more subscribers and then I'll read it. Let's see. Just watched Chicken Attack and thanks for that. So going to send it to my sister. I'm a channel subscriber.
Chicken Attack.
If you can find it, I entered a poem to contest once. Actually won like the conversation.
The most difficult thing about putting a chamfer on an inside curve like this is it's hard to keep the right angle. I want to hold the angle at 45 degrees here, but by the time I get up to the top, I'm almost flat. And so it's holding that angle when your body changes. So at a certain time of your life, your body's going to change.
What topic did you jump to while I was gone? Are you having a puberty talk? I didn't know. Okay, hang on. I'm not sure I'm going to say this.
What's that?
Christian from Vienna wants to know how you got into woodworking, how you got this passion.
Well, I grew up doing woodworking with my father, but all power tool. And his shop was all power tools. We had a set of chisels. They were never sharpened. They were just sat on the wall because if you're in a shop, you have to have a set of chisels. Never had a plane, not even a block plane. And so I grew up doing power tools. When I got married, I had power tools. And we started moving, and I started selling tools every time we moved. And my shop got less and less and less and less. And then at the last place, I basically sold all my tools. Just kind of had the assumption that I guess I'm done woodworking because I didn't have the space for it. And that was that. But then I became a stay-at-home dad and started to pull my hair out and needed a hobby. And I saw a video from Worth the Effort, and he made a grooving plane with just hand tools. And I thought, wow, I could do that. And the nice thing about hand tools is it's safe, so if the kids are around, I don't have a problem with it. It's quiet, so I can do it while they're napping. I don't have a problem with tracking dust in. I don't need that much space in my shop because the only space I had for it was like 10 foot by 10 foot. And just one of these things that I just got a whole new love for woodworking because I could experiment with it in a different way. And that started off my woodworking, or wood by right. Cool, so there's all the chamfers. Now we can start smoothing.
So you all can blame Worth the Effort and being a stay-at-home dad for why Wood by Right exists.
Pretty much.
Let's see. There was a question. Kai wants to know, did you ever use a Lie-Nielsen saw?
I have. They are good saws.
And which do you think are better, Veritas or Lie-Nielsen?
For cutting wise, they will both do the exact same thing. You will not see any difference in the function, usability, or actual cut. A Lie-Nielsen saw feels better in the hand. So there's that tactile feel that's really, really nice. But for the price, I'm going to tell most people go with a Veritas because you can't beat the price of a Veritas saw. It's not going to feel as good in your hand, but oh well. You're saving money. You could buy several Veritas saws for the price of a single Lie-Nielsen. But Lie-Nielsen just feels really good.
So I want to know if anyone has made any of the projects they may have bought last week or started.
Oh, from...
And you should post those on HiveMind. if you have. I would be very interested.
Yeah, and if
to
anyone's
see.
on here and wants to buy any of the plans on my website, they are now 50% off as long as you use the code, which I put on the Hive Mind. I'm trying to set it up so I can just make everything 50% off for the moment, but it's not working out quite right. So you have to use the code. Otherwise, the software goes, I don't want to do this. But it's on the Wood by Right Hive Mind group, as well as I emailed it to everyone on the email list.
And if you're not on the Hive Mind group, you need to ask to.
And I would love to
join.
tell you what the code is, but it's some random number, and I can't remember what it is.
And James doesn't remember numbers.
No, it's an alphanumeric, uppercase, lowercase.
Poor man said you committed sacrilege by selling your tools. But you have to remember how many times we moved
Yeah.
in the period of like
My-
3 years.
Arthur, before he reached 3 years old, lived in 5 different houses.
So our children keep thinking at any minute we're just going to decide to pack up and move.
Pretty much. But I now have most of it back. I still have I have a bunch of power tools out in the garage. I just don't use them that much. If there's ever something where, like a lot of things that I make for myself just around the house, I just got to finish up a project quickly or fix something. Power tools come out for that because it's about getting it done. But for the YouTube videos, they're rarely employed. And if they are employed, I show them in the video. They're just not as much fun. Doing it by hand is incredibly fun. Chicken attack. Chicken attack.
So we're overdue for a move, apparently.
Yeah. Actually, as of a couple months ago, this is the second longest I've ever lived in in a house. And I moved 25 times.
Have we lived in Watertown longer?
No, we've lived here longer than we lived in Watertown.
Okay.
I lived in northern Michigan for just shy of 6 years in one house. But other than that, we've moved every year or 2 years or less. Ooh, pretty. Oh, I love that feeling.
So there was a question about any other cheap saw.
You know, the problem is there really aren't many cheap new saws. They're incredibly hard to find. Oop, that's why. And I mean, they just really aren't. I mean, Veritas is the cheapest back saw, with a few exceptions, but for the money, the Veritas is just the way to go. There are a few others, but yeah. That's why, other than back saws, for most panel saws, definitely buy antique, because most of the time you can pick them up for $3 to $5. I've got a pile of them that I just pick up for random times at dirt cheap prices and clean them up, restore them, sharpen them. They're good to go. If you don't think you can sharpen a saw, you're wrong. It's really that easy. Unless, like, you don't have arms. And you
V-Power
probably
wants to
can't
know
sharpen
if
a
you
saw.
really want to move that table again.
It all depends on how good my friends are.
Yeah, but at least you're not carrying it up the stairs.
Yes. You know, for just carrying it around, 2 people could carry it. You have to be able to carry about 200 pounds each, but with good shoulder straps, it's possible.
They may not be good friends afterwards.
Yeah.
Troy wants to know if most of those moves were with your parents or with myself.
About half and half. That is also counting moving back and forth to college, because that was always like a truck and a trailer. Let's see, since we've been married, let's see, we moved into Washington, moved into in July, moved into Union, first Pennsylvania, second Pennsylvania, first Rockford, second Rockford. So 7 times since
Is that it?
7 times since we've been married.
So about every
I know, it
2
feels like
years.
more.
Let's see. Could I use a soft wood for my workbench and then put small pieces of hardwood underneath the bench for the dog holes?
No need for hardwood on the dog holes. My bench that I have over here is all Douglas fir, cheap construction lumber. And I've got, it's just shy of 3.5 inches thick, and then Holdfasts work fantastic in that. Unless you're talking about like doing thin, if you put the boards flat, then all you have to do is put another board underneath it where the dog holes are at, and that works perfectly fine. I know some people who will have a 1.5 inch thick top, and they'll just put another 2x4 where they have their string of dog holes. So you need about 3 inches of soft wood for Holdfast to work well.
Troy says he hates moving. That's why we've been in the same house for 20 years. So I have to tell you, I don't know that anyone can beat my grandparents.
Yeah.
They've been married 70, I think it will be, it's either 73 or 74 years in June. They have lived in the same house since the day they got married. So I don't know that anyone can beat them. It's an old family farmhouse with all original.
And wasn't he born in that house or something?
No, that was the other farmhouse. Good old stubborn farmers. But yeah, so 70 plus years in the same house for my grandparents. I bet we can't wait to clean out that house eventually.
Oh,
The treasures we will find.
yeah. That would make a really good YouTube channel of let's restore a really, really old farmhouse. Well, really, really old for American standards.
Yeah, for American standards. Well, it's over, gosh, it's probably over 120 years old. For as old as America is, that's pretty old. It's at least 100.
Yeah, no, that style is around 1860s.
Yeah, I mean, it's an old house.
So it's probably around 160 years old.
Yeah. What kind of wood do you like working with?
I love working with white oak, which is what I'm working with right now. White oak is incredibly challenging to work with because it usually has crazy switching grain, but it is incredibly rewarding in that you get rays and figure and swirl in it. Even in this, which is really straight grained, the grain is still kind of waving in and out. And I've got this really nice ray figure on the face here. It's a very, very rewarding wood, but you have to work at it to get that reward. It's not an easy wood. This burr is actually holding out really well. It's dull, so I'm not getting really nice shavings. I'm getting good enough.
Thanks, poor man, for letting us know America is 244 years old.
What's that?
Poor man had to let us know America's 244 years old. So is this desk your quarantine project, or do you have something bigger?
No, I really don't have a quarantine project. I'm always down here working, so there's always something going on. Really, for me, the only difference for this is that my wife is gone more and my kids are always home. So it's kind of like summer, other than I have to do some educational stuff for the kids. And Sarah's gone more. It's about all it is for me. And I don't leave. I haven't run in like the last week. I haven't run in almost 2 weeks now.
Are you going through withdrawals? Have you
I am.
started shaking? Sweating? Pupils?
So, yeah, I think that's about it for this. I think we're gonna wrap it up. I probably won't go live tomorrow because I'll have the video coming out tomorrow, but I'll probably go live on Monday. So, yeah, if you guys like this, let me know. Maybe we'll do something more like this. White oak or pecan? Which do you hate more? Oh, pecan. I hate pecan. Pecan is like walnut, but far more challenging. So you don't really get any benefit over walnut. You just get more difficulty. Yeah, pecan is not very happy for me.
Unless it's a pie.
Yeah. Would you recommend building complementary new?
Completely new.
Can you read it? It's moving.
Would you recommend building a completely new workbench or build a worktop on an oak table? I have a solid oak table that would need a heavy top.
If the base is structurally good, go ahead and throw a top on it. Yeah, especially if you're going to be doing something like an English style where you have a skirt to work on. It is nice to have legs or a skirt that are flush with the sides so you can clamp two down farther down. Makes it easier for a leg vise or something of that nature. But yeah, as long as the base is solid enough, go for it. But yeah, the base really is the hard part on a bench most of the time. So if you got it, great. Cool. Anything else, or are we wrapping up?
Nope. I think we can wrap it up.
Cool. So yeah, I'll probably do another one on Monday. Sarah probably won't be here.
More than likely not. Unless you do it at night.
We've got the video coming out tomorrow, so we'll be doing
No,
that.
but I'll hopefully be here Tuesday.
Yeah.
As long as I'm not needed at work.
Yeah. Cool. Well, thanks everyone for joining, and until next time, have a wonderful day.
Bye. Hang on.
Stay safe out there.